It is very funny to realize that history is written by those who win, so you really never get to hear their dumbest and weirdest quests. In this video, we unravel the weirdest and most hilarious moments that didn't make it into your history textbooks.
My whole life was a lie.
Number 1. Once upon a time, in the grand old days when Indians were under British rule, the Brits were in a messy situation. They had a major cobra problem, and in their infinite wisdom they decided to put a bounty on every cobra. They thought this will fix the problem in no time. But here's where things got hilarious. The bounty they offered was so generous that it was actually more expensive than raising a cobra from baby to full-grown serpent. Oops, so guess what happened when enterprising locals couldn't find any more cobras to claim the bounty? They started their very own cobra farms and started breeding cobras like they were rabbits. When the government finally got a clue on the snake farm bonanza, they quickly scrapped the bounty program faster than you could say the word scrap. The only problem now was that the snake breeders were left with a whole bunch of unwanted snakes. So what did they do with all these snakes? They set them loose on the streets. It didn't take long for the British officials to realize that they were in a way bigger mess than the initial problem they had before the bounty. Number 2. Once upon a time, in the 14th century, in the Middle Ages, something hilarious happened in France. After a pig attacked a child who later died from the wounds, the authorities had the pig arrested and kept in prison. After a while, the pig was sent to court where it stood trial for murder, was found guilty, and then executed by hanging. I mean, they could have just barbecued it instead of wasting taxpayers' money. Number 3. During the height of the Cold War, somewhere deep in the halls of the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, the intelligence officers, in the bid of finding a way of bringing down the morale of the people living in the USSR, deliberated for hours on how best to achieve their goal. After the tireless hours of brainstorming, they finally arrived at the best way to attack. Guess what the power move was? They decided to parachute thousands of extra large condoms, labeled as medium, onto the Soviet nations, with the hope of convincing the Soviet women that Western men had bigger swords, and to demoralize the men in the process. Number 4. Once upon a time, King Xerxes, the king of Persia, tried to build a bridge across the Dardanelles to get to Greece faster, but failed spectacularly when a storm wrecked his construction. Upset with the sea for ruining his plans, he ordered his soldiers to punish the sea by giving it a good old-fashioned whooping using chains 300 times and poked it with red-hot irons severally. Handcuffs were also tossed into the water to symbolize the sea's submission to his authority. Let's just say the ocean didn't take it personally, it was too busy making waves. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more funny but informative videos. Until we meet again next time, au revoir. Gracias.